Yeah, so one of the highest view videos, music videos that I have, and number one, let me say this. I am an unknown music artist. I do this as a passion once every couple years. I feel the urging or the desire to speak. So when it comes to music artists, as of this time, I am not well known or anything like that, even though I think I really make good music by the grace of God. So we'll see what happens with that. But I try to live my life, especially the creative life, for an audience of one. I know that sounds strange because we want to have the biggest impact as possible, but I believe that motive is more important than success. And if I can create knowing that Jesus is happy with what I create, then that's a good place for me to be at. But the song FYG, maybe one of the most controversial songs that I've ever created, for a couple reasons. Number one, because it is an explicit denunciation of gangs. And number two, because it names certain gangs. And then number three, it's a really cool music video created with AI. And so I think that those three things. But question might some might ask is, well, how do you justify the use of explicit language in the Christian life? Uh, Number one, primarily you can't justify it unless it has a gospel motive. So me just living my daily life and cursing, have a problem with language. That's something that a person would need to work on and maybe grow in. And you know, the Bible does talk about using speech that's seasoned with salt. And so we need to be always mindful of how we speak amongst the listening world, right? Obviously, we're going to speak in some different ways when we're amongst different people, but as a Christian, we represent, someone greater. So I would say that. Secondly, there is a use or a need to use explicit language when it's oftentimes gospel related or related to very serious things, right? So the Apostle Paul, in a few places, uses some very strong language that, in his day, actually were considered, curse words. For an example, Philippians 3, where Paul says, "Yea, doubtless I have suffered the loss of all things and do count them as, in the English version, dung or rubbish, but in the Greek is actually the equivalent of the shit word, where we get our word scatophilia from. Uh, it's really a almost the worst type of rubbish and garbage you can think of. It's a curse word. And so Paul, in essence, is saying that, if I can paraphrase it, compared to Jesus Christ, everything else that the world can offer me is a pile of shit. So he uses some pretty strong language there. In the book of Galatians, these are just a few places that come to my mind. He uses the term, if anyone preaches any other gospel, let him be accursed, anathema, damned. Let him go to hell. Let him be cursed by God, which is really the strongest New Testament denunciation equivalent of a curse word. And so, in both of those places, Paul is communicating a divine truth that, compared to anything the world can give you, it is shit, right? A very strong language. So, rap, fame, houses, money, 401k, prestige, prominence, the presidency of the United States, compared to simply knowing who Jesus Christ is, having the Spirit of God inside of your heart, and following Him. Anything compared to that is shit. There's a strong need to communicate that. And I think that in hip hop, obscene language has been used in the opposite. Obscene language has been used to glorify temporal things. Temporal things. I'll die for my MF niggas, Uh, you know, but in the spiritual realm, there's a unique need, especially I believe, as we get closer to the return of Christ, as Jude says, to save some as from the fire, to say, hey, get the F out of the way of this coming judgment. And so the song FYG, which stands for F Your Gang, is designed as a blatant, loud, blaring warning to anyone who is affiliated or associated or participates in gang culture. I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. You cannot be a Crip and a Christian. You can't be a Blood and a Christian. You cannot be, in the same way, you can't be a Muslim and a Christian or Jewish and Christian. You're either one or the other. You can't be. And so there's an absolute need to communicate this. I think, unfortunately, Western pop culture, we have made gang culture acceptable. Now, if you compare it, late 80s, people like Dan Quayle and his wife, who kind of had a campaign against certain hip hop artists, things of that nature. Uh, it's a little bit different. We've kind of swung the pendulum to the other side where gang culture is just acceptable. On TikTok, some of the top videos are white creators who are using black drill violent music to put it under cartoons and to get views. And so this is not natural or normal to glorify gang culture or even to have it as acceptable. Snoop Dogg, who continually at the age of 55 throws up Crip signs and sea walks, and it's just not this is not normal. I don't care what you say. This is not normal. As someone who was affiliated with gang life, gang culture, someone who was a victim of it, and someone who understands it, it's not a normal thing to just accept it, right? And so I feel like there is an absolute need to wake people up. And so the song FYG it's a fearless attempt to say F your gang. And what I'm not saying is F your family, F your friends. What I'm saying is F anything that would prevent you from knowing Jesus Christ and having eternal life. F that. F that. In the same way that Paul says that everything compared to knowing Jesus Christ is shit, I'm saying F anything that would cause you to not know Jesus Christ. And so I'm proud of the song. A lot of work went into that song. A lot of work. It seems like it's a simple song, but this is one of the hardest songs ever created, ever wrote, to get the production right, to get the sound right, to get the lyrics right. There were about 45 different versions, I think at least, of this one song, about 45 different versions, and this one came out the best. So it's my hope that more people will hear the song. Again, the music that I'm doing, it's for a specific group of people. It's not for everybody. But I hope that those who actually listen to it will be touched by it.